Hello and welcome to JRock's Babylon. This is a real exciting, fun interview. I've been looking forward to doing it. Just got set up yesterday by my good friend Fifi Larue. Now, Fifi, I want to share with the folks you and me have a bit of a history. I started doing these interviews about 18 years ago with this other site called Chaotic Riffs. You were one of the first people I ever interviewed, and back then we were doing interviews where I'd email you questions and you'd fire them back. And the last interview we did was for this other guy's site, Chaotic Riffs. And what the situation was, if you may remember, Sonic Boom, the Kiss album just came out. And during the interview, we talked about Fifi Larue and what you were doing at the time. And you mentioned, I'm a Kiss fan, but I'm not a real big fan of Sonic Boom. And the guy who owned the site, sadly, told me, Jason, you know what? We're not gonna post Fifi's interview. And I was very upset about that. But I thought, I got to be honest with Fifi, because again, you and I had a little bit of a relationship prior to that, and you're one of the first people I ever interviewed. I said, Fifi, this is what's going on. You said, I understand, Jason, but you know what? I'll tell you what, because of this guy's attitude, and I understood it, he said, I'm never going to do another interview for this guy's site. And you were a man of your word. And so I'm glad we're finally able to do this after all these years. And so with all that being said, Fifi, why don't you let the folks know what you are up to now?
I'm the gothic killer clown of rock and roll. There you go.
I love that. And I love the fact that you came made up. That shows me how much you're, getting back into character.
I'm here, promote. We revamped the website. It was down for a while. Revamped it, made it all look nice, new graphics, and a lot of information. We have your interviews. We have everybody's interviews. We have videos. We have everything on that website which should be out for people to see, right?
Yeah.
And it goes, far back from almost when I started. So now, my drummer is moving to Thailand for retirement, the Diablo, right?
Okay.
So he's kind of getting out of the picture. He's going to retire, going to move to Thailand. So I'm kind of, let's say, not between band members, but I have a guitar player, Hex. He went and did his own top 40 band called the Apes, and he plays around Orange County a lot. And he's in retirement. All of us are in retirement age almost. I got about, not from music, but from our regular jobs, and I got about 2 more years to go. And started thinking, I got a lot of material, and I've been holding on to just this CD for a while. I don't know if people can see it, but that's like my first CD I came out with. I think it was around, I don't even want to say the wrong time, around 2007 maybe.
Yeah.
It's been quite a while. So I reprint these, I remarket them as little mini records, but they're just CD, but no more J card, right? I mean, no more jewel case. So just a little cardboard.
In fact, Fifi, that brings me back to memories when we first hooked up, because one of the places you invited me to, I went and checked the band out perform. This was years ago, probably around that time. There was a Kiss Expo in LA at someplace in Burbank at the Hilton, I believe it was. And also playing that day was Priss, Kiss tribute band.
It was at the Marriott.
Yeah, Bob Kulick made an appearance, but you guys, you rocked the event, I got to say.
Yeah, it was lucky we played in. Supposedly Kiss was against it because it was in their backyard. So the promoter kind of lost because he was hoping Kiss was going to back it up and promote, say, yeah, everybody should go to this. But instead, they say you're playing in our backyard, so and the promoter kind of lost. But it was a great event. People were selling stuff, and quite a few bands, like you said, Priss and Bruce Kulick played. I think jumped on stage with them, right? Not necessarily. Yeah, he jumped on stage with them. Yeah, so it was a nice event. I mean, so that being said, I guess, I pretty much had my same members, but I had a drummer called Leroy, and we called him Leroy the Mortician. We call him Morty. And he recently passed away,
Oh, wow.
Years back. No, but he was a really good drummer and stuff. Mostly into jazz and stuff. If I see it going down like this in my little dog.
And Fifi, I got to ask you, the next thing that came up, did you ever officially release the Clown Flu? That was another.
No, so I'm glad you asked this. So this is all goes into why I recorded this Alter Ego. So been recording, we have the tracks for Clown Flute, the long version, and the one that I let go out was a short version for a movie called The Newest Pledge. And I don't know, was that on The Newest Pledge? But for whatever reason, the guys that we did a movie called The Newest Pledge, and in return, the producers said, we'll record a video for you for a song. And that was Clown Flute, but it had to shorten it. So we'd have a release on a video for the Clown Flute, but it's the short version.
Oh, okay.
So that being said, I have that song, and I have, I redid Ace of Spades, and I just recently did a Stephen Piercy song from Rat, "Loving You's Not a Dirty Job."
Dirty Job, yeah.
So I redid that, and I have old song tracks that I redid. We re-recorded them. I had a song called "Sex Bomb," and we also have The Newest Pledge was from the movie That Song. So I had all these songs that I said, you know what, I got to release them. They've been sitting for a while in like our files and stuff. So started working on those, and I said, hey, you know what? And my bass player Andy says, hey, we need to come out with a record, a vinyl, because that's a big thing going out right now. So, and the only vinyl I ever did was for this album a long time ago in the 90s. And this, like right after I was in Dizzy Bitch, me and the guitar player, he helped me write. But this is pretty done cheesily, right?
Yeah, sure.
But the best thing this record did for me, because it was like drum machine and all that stuff, but the best thing this record did for me, this CD, it helped me create myself as a songwriter. Yeah. So I wrote all the songs on here except we redid like Hot Shot in the City. So that being said, once again, I'm re-releasing this. Instead of, I have a couple of copies left on a record vinyl that I have on my site for sale. And then like a little mini record, right? That I think this is great. It looks like a record. And then when you pull out the CD, it'll have like the insert. So, and then, like I said, so now I had all these songs that in a backlog, right?
Sure.
All I have is this. So like I said, the songs I just mentioned, those are going to be on it. I have a couple of songs that I had in demo, and I was lucky to get two well-known artists, and you're probably going to have one of them on your show. I just don't want to mention their names until the release is out, right?
Okay, yeah.
The drummer went back on one of these two recordings that I had. And I said, hey, look, I don't have the individual tracks. Can you just play to them? And, and then we'll start from scratch again. And he did it. And then I got the other guitar player that's well-known, and because he's a really good guitar player, he played on the track. So there's two songs. It's called Only Angels, and it's like a really powerful song that I wrote way back in like the 90s. And then I never really released it though. And then another song called Do You Remember, about, meeting a girl at an amusement park and all that kind of, almost like a knockoff of Come Sail Away by Styx.
Wow.
Yeah, it has the same kind of vibe.
I can't wait to hear that. Wow, that'd be pretty.
I never was a Styx fan, but when you listen to songs on the radio and they're always commercial hits,
you get in your head.
Come Sail Away. It's like embedded in your head, whether you like the band or not.
Yeah.
So I came up with a song kind of close to that, but I didn't rip off their melodies or anything. But the idea was, okay, the song I hate, or it's always on commercially on the radio, and it's a hit song. I can do better. I can make a song that I don't want to say better, but something just as good. And I have a song called Do You Remember? It's about meeting a girl at an amusement park. So that being said, we've been working on it, and we're down to almost the last 3 tracks to actually get it pressed into a vinyl. I got to put my vocals on 2 or 3 tracks, and then the thing's completed. Andy has put his bass, and it's completed. So while that was happening, like I said, I call myself a lyricist. I used to play drums, but I call myself a lyricist, and I like to sing my own songs. But I had, let's say, 13 songs in my head that it's just like, am I going to go through this like year and a half of re-recording or recording new material? And now they got this thing called AI.
Sure.
Yeah. You can go on a couple of different apps, and you can go to different companies that have it available. And, some musicians are against it. And some of them that are against it use it because they use it just for the drums or for a guitar. But Andy started this thing, Andy, my bass player.
Yeah.
he said, what song lyrics do you have? And I go, I have a song called Haunted Mansion. And we're going to put that on the original album that we're going to come out with, and I'll explain that one. So he took those lyrics and he threw them into one of the apps for creating AI generated songs, right? Which they call assisted, right?
Sure.
Long as a human has something to do with it, you are still the creator of the song. And you just say, okay, AI assisted in music, right?
I mean, AI is one of those things to me. It's I think people should embrace it because
you have no choice.
any technology, it's good and bad. You just got to learn how to work with it. I mean, the background I got there, all created by AI. I wouldn't have been able to do that.
So hear me out. So I mean, I was kind of like, oh, I don't believe in it. But then when I had a taste of it through Andy putting my lyrics in, and out comes this song that's already fucking done. You don't have to fucking wait for this guy to record, that guy to record, that guy to say he'll record on it or he won't record on it. That all takes a lot of time. I mean,
Sure.
And then, I have a recording studio in my house, but I live here in Val Vista, and, it's close to Temecula, and it's basically the edge of Hemet, but it's like a real nice area. And because I live in a 3,200 square foot home, like almost like a rock star living, and it is. And I have a studio, but how do you get these people to come to your house?
Yeah.
They live in Long Beach, or
I mean, back when you were recording these early albums that you're showing us, of older Fifi Larue album, back in those days, people would all show up and you'd record together in the same room, the same studio. It's not done like that anymore.
You were kids, and you just came out of high school and semi-college, and you had all this time, and it was about trying to be a rock star, right? And it was the 80s. The 80s was like fucking booming, and I lived that part of life. But now when you're grown up and there's people that have kids and families, and some people work corporate jobs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Diablo was fucking computer tech repair guy for corporations. I lived in a multi-million-dollar house in Valencia, down by Magic Mountain, right? And I lived fucking way down south, and it takes hours to get to somebody else. And to get him to come to a Christmas party was hard enough. 2 years he came. So that being said, a lot of times people do the tracks online. They send it through iCloud and something box,
Dropbox, yeah.
So that's how easy that is. But still, to wait for somebody to record the parts. I had the drummer that did these two tracks for me, did it on the same fucking day. But then the guitar player took almost 2 or 3 months because he wants to be real perfect. And
now let me ask you, Fifi, because a lot of people may not be aware of the fact, like you said, you started out as a drummer. Needing a drummer, did you ever toy with the idea maybe I could just do the drum tracks myself?
No. Okay. So with this, where's this record? So this record, it would have, now that I listened to this record, it wasn't hard to do. And I said, I should have done the drum tracks. But this guy right here, his name's, we called him Hondo Blackout, but it's Sean Martin. He, a little bit of egotistic. If you listen to this, my voice are down by with the music, and his backups are high and up this.
Okay.
I let him produce it, right? And I just wanted to get my songs out there, right?
Sure.
Singer. Yeah. I'm still not a singer. I just believe in like the Alice Cooper Kiss thing. Just throw it out there. Look at Lemmy. Lemmy wasn't a great singer, but fucking he came out with great songs. I mean, you listen to Motorhead, you're going like, what the hell is this guy singing for?
I mean, could you imagine anybody else singing those songs but Lemmy? I mean,
yeah. But I'm just trying to say, and he wasn't like a great fucking singer, but he sang like me. I'm not.
From the heart.
Fucking songs. It was Lemmy's fucking song. Lemmy wrote fucking "Mama Come On Home" for Ozzy.
Yeah.
And I think Shannon paid him off, and look how great that song came out and how popular it came. So millions, made millions, right? So not necessarily you have to be a singer. I mean, my thing is to be a performer and do the theatrical stuff, right? That's what I love, right? So damned if I do, damned if I don't. But like I said, that record, I could have probably played the drums, but the thing was about time.
Sure. Yeah.
Me and this guitar player sat down, like a lot of demos back in the 80s, people had Tascam little 8-track
Sure.
16-track recorders, and they were bedroom recordings. You sit down in a bedroom, you hum the songs, and then you get a drum machine. You put the drum machine down. Kiss. I mean, you listen to Paul Stanley's first demos. It's like right here. I got a keyboard.
Yeah.
It's a keyboard with a keyboard drum track, right? Let's
Right.
put the X and sex. Have you ever heard those first? How he created the song? It was just a keyboard with tracks, like drum tracks, right? And it was all on like a little keyboard, and he recorded. And I used to hear like Gene Simmons had the little mini 8-track recorder, 4-track, and they record their stuff in the hotel room and at the beginning stage, right?
Sure.
That's all you have to do. But now to transfer it and get musicians, I mean, unless you have the money and you can pay people to come in your house and do that right then and there, that's it. This AI, okay, so going back, I didn't do the drums because it was all about time. The player said, hey, look, if we're going to do this, I just want to do it fast, and I hope you have the music for your songs and help your arrangements and all this shit. And boom, the album was out, but it came out cheesy. But it was a record. Back in those days, hardly any band could come out with a record unless they had money.
Or a label. I mean, you don't need a label these days. I mean, that's a big difference.
You had to have money to come out with the vinyl pressing. That cost money. So I came out with the loan and I did it. It was more ego, but then also it made me a songwriter. The songs are good. If I re-recorded them, they are still real good songs.
You know the funny thing, Fifi, is the kind of how vinyl has made such a huge comeback. I mean, it went away for about 10 years, and then I don't mind really paying. I mean, I don't have a turntable, and some people buy it just because it's a collector's thing now. But if I had a turntable, I'd buy something for $30 if it was a nice package. The way they're packaging some of this stuff.
Yeah. So going back to now the new album,
Sure.
I call it Nadine, my wife, she created the title.
Okay.
I was going to call it like Temptation from my old bass player. Like I was just going to put that all into this spiritual thing. But she goes, you know what? Okay, here's the funny thing. So Andy dipped on it for 2 songs, and it came out with a different vocalist, and it sounded really good. And I'm going like, fuck, now to record my vocals on these, and they give you the tracks. You can, like AI, they call them, what do they call those? I don't know what the word, but they call them, they don't call them tracks. They call them something else.
Okay.
But basically tracks for your computer.
Songs.
Yeah. So you could take out a guitar, put your guitar in there. You could take the bass out, you could take vocals out, but and I have a vocal booth in my studio. But to re-record all the songs, 13 songs, my vocals, I'm thinking another 3 months. While I'm still recording this record that I haven't finished for about 1.5 years, right? Which the song I came out with, it's called Bubblegum Girl, have the cover and everything, and I released a single. That's in it too. I still want it to be called Bubblegum Girl and an album now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with more songs. Like the backlog songs we're working on, we got 3 more songs. Then I could press a record in vinyl for that album. But here comes these songs, 13 songs in my head that I haven't even recorded. Andy submits 2 of them through AI, and he constructs them, and he gives them to me online. I go, where the fuck? Oh yeah, I did it all. And I go, what do you mean you did it all? And he goes, well, I did it all. And he showed me where the link was, and then I started throwing in my 2 cents for other songs I had, and I go, fuck, if I keep creating my lyrics and finishing the songs off, I'll have a fucking whole record out. And then within 3 months, with AI assisted, I recorded this, pressed and everything in 3 months. I put my songs, my titles of my lyrics, my titles of the songs, and in AI, you don't pick the first thing you get. So they give you opportunities. They give you like 4 or 5 versions of your lyrics mixed into a song. And you can decide what you do with it. Now, if you don't like that genre, you could say gothic metal. Boom, they give you 4 songs that sound. So I'm listening to the songs thinking, is this the way I originally wanted the song to sound like in my head? And boom, I find something that's similar. It might not be 100%, but it might be 80% to the way I really want the song. So I say, okay, I'm gonna keep it like this. I pay their fee for 1 year, and I get to create songs. And I came up with 13 songs, and now here's the tricky part. It's somebody else singing it, like the AI singer, right?
Yeah.
Vocalist. And those are fucking like, you know, really great singers and stuff. I mean, they got all the background vocals and all these, the levels of their voice and stuff, which I can do. But I'm going, you know what? They sound great just the way they are. Why fuck with it? So then Nadine comes up with this idea. Why don't you call it alter ego? And I go, what do you mean by that? And she goes, you're saying alter ego. You're saying you don't have to play on your songs. It's your ego's playing on those songs. It's your song, and your
Got your song, yeah.
your alter ego is the fucking record. Your alter ego, like you got me walking through a forest, right? Like dazed and confused.
I love that. Yeah, yeah.
And the thing about alter ego, I do say on the record cover, AI assisted compilation CD. That's my idea. So what's a compilation CD? A compilation CD is when people do your songs. Now, mind you, these are new songs, but if these were songs I already had recorded back in the day, other bands could play them, right? And then there would be a CD coming out in tribute to Fifi Larue or like Alice Cooper compilation CD, all these other bands play. Well, AI bands are playing my songs that were computer generated to the way I want it to sound like, and my lyrics. That's the human part of the creation of the song.
How cool is that? Wow, you're really getting creative with this. Yeah. Wow.
So long as you have a human part creating this AI version, you control the copyrights. Wow. So I copyright all the songs with the Library of Congress, and I say, I'm the author of the lyrics and AI assisted with the music, right? Yeah. So long as you say that, you basically you own everything. You still
own like Vinnie Vincent selling his album for $2,000.
I'll sell this for a couple of million too. I mean, so that's kind of ridiculous, but I get it. You know what? He's kind of trying to go the Gene Simmons route and the Paul Stanley route that they sold out their catalog.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying, here, I'll sell you my record. You send it out. You be the record label, and you do all that, and you make the $1 million. But I don't think he's that popular anymore. That only a minor few Kiss fans, they've been like destroyed on his work ethic. That he doesn't show up to conventions. He doesn't do that. I don't want to mock the guy. I always thought he was a great part for Kiss, but he's out there. He's alluding to.
Wow, alter ego. I love the title. That's a cool title she came up with. Do you have a projected release date for this?
Oh, it's already on Spotify and it's on iTunes and what do you call this? Material item. It's on our website.
Okay.
You can order it, like I said, like a little mini record, right? Yes. And you can order it on my website. I have a package deal too. I saw all my stuff. I reread because I'm going to come up with the record Bubblegum Girl. And we got it maybe a couple of more months, and those will all be recorded, and I can get it pressed. So that'll be vinyl, and I'll record it into one of these little mini.
And Bubblegum Girl, do you think that'll come out this year? Maybe the new year.
By summer. Yeah. Well, not this summer. Well, yeah, by summer or Christmas. Christmas would be a really good deadline. So
Christmas, that would be a great.
I have these three CDs. I have these 3 CDs as a packet for $25. You can have all 3 of these CDs on my website. You could have, when I first started writing songs as Fifi Larue, a different spelling, right? I didn't have the makeup back then. It was still, Poserville, back in the 90s music. And then the first Fifi Larue CD, right?
Yeah.
Clown, Killer Bitch, and all these songs on here. And then this is Alter Ego. And this is a compilation CD with AI generated music and singing. I'm not even singing on it, but they're my songs, right?
I love that. Yeah.
That's the ego part of alter ego.
And what I love about it, Fifi, is that it's going to, it's putting all this interest back into Fifi Larue that's kind of been away for a while. You're coming back and you're not just giving us one thing, but all this stuff. And it's getting people excited, I think, again, about Fifi Larue.
Until I get a band worked up again, I always have Angel. I always have Andy by my side. So, it's just I have a drummer that's interested, and it's just finding that right guitar player. Because Hex is, I pretty much think he's retired and he loves his H band, right? So that we're just have to go on and move on and find another guitar player. Then we can start playing. And by then, I'll probably be semi-retired. Just play music and have fun. So in these deals, I sell in this, and I made up a poster, a pretty cool poster.
Oh, see? Wow.
So I sign these. If you order the Alter Ego CD with the poster, I'll sign it personally.
Is it FifiLarue.com? Is that the official site?
Yeah. You can order them right there. And then, like I said, you can order the 3-pack CD with the poster again. And the poster is kind of like a cool thing to say, hey, thank you for ordering it. And you can put the poster up in your
I love that. That's always kind of like a Kiss-like type of thing. Like, I got the new box set for Alive and Dressed to Kill, and I spent $300.
It's pretty nice. It's not cheesy. It's all a nice picture, and it's a small poster, 17 by 11 inches, and it's a really nice poster. I mean, I'm happy with it. I have one hanging up on my wall, but I framed it right. So I mean, until I get a band going again, it's all about writing. I'm still writing songs in my head right now but I don't know if I'm going to continue using AI as much. I'm probably going to use AI probably for like drumming, and then get the guitar players to put their part, and then I'm going to do my vocals. I'm not going to use it like I did Alter Ego for everything, because that was just a slam out music that's been in my head for, like I say, about 2 years.
Quick way to get it done, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 3 months.
Yeah.
In 3 months, I just had a neighbor. He's he says he's a school teacher, and he just found out he was a well-known jazz trumpet player.
Oh, wow.
He says he's like one of the top best. His other friend in Vegas is the top trumpet player or some bullshit. So I told him I have a recording studio, and I mentioned the AI, and he says, just like all the other, that's tapping into everybody's money and stuff like that. But not necessarily. It's there to help you. If you write songs, it's there to bypass all the bullshit and create a song. And then later, if you want musicians to play on it, you can still do that. But at our age, I mean, I'm 62, I'm 63. I turned 64 in November.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I'm up there now. So, but to have all these guys go into one fucking room and record takes a lot of money. And these guys don't want to do it for free. They want to get paid. But
wow, I'm so glad you reached out to me, Fifi, because a lot of people think Fifi Larue went away. Apparently, you've just been very busy working on stuff behind the scenes, and it's
like you said, people should embrace this AI thing, because it's not going to go away.
No.
I mean, fucking SpaceX is having AI. With Elon Musk and stuff, everything's AI. Whether you like it or not, you better jump on board. I mean, and help it. Use it to help.
Embrace it, right? Embrace it, yeah.
If you can't live back in the past. Past ain't coming back. It's just it's the future, right? Babylon.
yeah, Babylon. Yeah, nice place to visit. We invite everybody to our party here in Babylon. But let me ask you, Fifi. Your makeup. I love the dedication. Like, just to do an interview like this, you get all dolled up and made up. How long did it take you to get made up today?
Probably an hour and a half. I got here up early. You wanted to do this, around 10 o'clock, and as long as I got my fireball out of my bar, I'm good. I'm good. But last night, kind of tired and slept, and I go, oh fuck, I gotta wake up early and put the shit on. I mean, the shit crap, right?
Yeah.
So, but it was okay. I'm here. This is me, right? I mean, I'm promoting me. I'm not going to come without the makeup, because that's not what it's about. It's about the character, and it's about, like, I'm here telling you, look, I'm not sitting around not doing nothing and saying, oh yeah, like I'm thinking about this, I actually started saying, you know what, I got to start throwing more material out there. I can't live on that one CD. I mean, I can't.
I mean, that's so true.
I can't live off this CD. It's been so long.
And that's the thing. A lot of bands, even the music industry being what it is today, they'll you're lucky if you get like a 3-song EP, let alone a full-length album.
You're lucky if some bands now even come out with more than one album. Here I got 3. I'm going back from the past, digging up that album, and the one I just showed you now, this one. So I got 3 CDs, and then I'm going to come out with the 4th one. I'm thinking by Christmas, you know.
That's great. You know, and obviously you were influenced by Kiss and Alice Cooper and bands like that. But when you formed this band, um, was it kind of your thought process? Hey, I want to create these characters. I want to be theatrical. Did somebody else come up with the idea?
So,
Yeah.
so I had a first version of Fifi Larue, and you know, everybody has their egos, right? And it wasn't the Fifi Larue that I imagined, but it was the start of Fifi Larue and how just to get it out there, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if people took it serious or not, but then when I got the real characters in, like Diablo, and then I got Hex, I had Andy Monic, and then me. That was the Fifi Larue. And then before Hex, I had Marcus Sin, and I miss him. He was a great. I think he moves. I don't want to say Tennessee, but he moved out there to one of those other states, and he's happily married and stuff. But he was a great guitar player. I wish I still had him. We could keep the ball rolling, but you know, people move out of state. People just don't stay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like things change, right? It's like you don't get Sebastian still playing with Skid Row, and these guys can't get together. And then look at that. Sebastian Bach gets in Twisted Sister.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
He doesn't need Skid Row at all no more, right? Because Twisted Sister's like 3 or 4 full.
And you know, if you would have told me, you know, a couple months back that they would have been able to replace Dee Snider, I wouldn't have really envisioned that. But I think Sebastian Bach is the one guy that can do that.
I sent an email to Jamie St. James from Black and Blue and said, hey, you know, Twisted Sister is looking for a singer. And he said, thanks. But, you know, it sucks because like the next day they already said, hey, Sebastian Bach's the guy, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I think Jamie St. James could have done it too.
Yeah, that's interesting. And now, you know, like we were talking earlier, you started out as a drummer. So I was curious, when you're starting out in music, what was it about the drums that kind of, you know, drove you?
I love the drums because Peter Criss, right? And especially Eric Carr, right? I mean, Eric Carr was a fantastic drummer. Eric Singer's a great drummer, but I mean, Eric Carr was like the guy too. I mean, that's why my kit looks like that. Luckily I never had to really sell it. I tried selling it a couple of times, but I still have it in my studio. And
Eric Carr is one of my biggest heroes of all time. I mean,
I got this bullshit called neuropathy underneath my feet. It's like a little numbness, not the one that with pins and needles, but just numbness, right?
Yeah.
And then I got a knee surgery on my knee. It's like the drum thing is just for fun. If I want to just go.
Yeah. I got to ask though. I was curious as far as Peter Criss, have you had a chance to get his new album and check that out?
No, you know, I heard a couple of songs. I didn't because at one point it was like $100 or something to get the CD or something. It was like sent out in a certain way that he didn't approve or something. I don't know if I really believe
I got it on Amazon.
It was like a Vinnie Vincent thing, or you want the first issues, you got to pay $100. That really steers me away from shit like that.
I got it on Amazon for a pretty decent price, believe it or not.
I don't like the Crawler song, but there's a couple of other ones I liked that I thought he could have used.
I thought, you know, for Peter Criss, it was probably his best solo thing he ever put out. I
like the album cover.
Yeah.
I like the silver part of it that they did, and it came out in vinyl.
Yeah, he came out in a
I think it's a little. Yeah. I think it's a little bit too late in the game. I think when he first was talking about doing it, and he had all the musicians, like we had Rob Zombie, John Five, and a couple other people on it, and when he was doing it back then, it was like maybe I want to say 8 or 10 years ago.
Even talking about that
came out because now the guy look.
He's 80 years old. This is his final album, let's be honest.
He does not look healthy.
No.
And you know what I hate about it too? They prop him up. I mean, he does it probably because he needs money, or he does these little conventions, and it's sad to see. It's okay. I got this from UFO too. I see the guy that I always admired and loved, and I wish he would just bow out gracefully, right?
Yeah.
No, I understand the record, but that should have came out years ago. It was already recorded years ago.
Yeah.
And it comes out like almost
10 years later.
Frehley dies, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say that after Ace Frehley. Now Ace Frehley, I should have cheered because that fucking guy was still recording new material and I think he fell on the back of his chair and hit
In
his
his
head.
home studio, yeah, and
And he
had a
went
brain
back.
damage.
He was supposed. I don't understand why nobody was observing him while he came back the first time, and he went straight back in the studio. And I think he hit himself again in the head with that. He had a favorite chair that was fucked up, never got repaired, and I think he fell back and hit his head again. I don't know the true thing, but
Sure, sure.
it's like he should have been healing, but he was so devoted and keep
Yeah,
coming out with material. And
yeah,
I get it. That's how he makes money, to keep throwing stuff out. Like
sure, sure,
throwing stuff out there now. I'm not making what he makes, but I'm selling a couple of copies here and
sure,
there.
sure, sure.
And it's for my ego too. It's like I don't want to sit back and I want to prepare myself for retirement, and then
Yeah.
I can focus for more.
And I do think Fifi Larue at this point is set up like that, where even though you've been away for a while, the name still means something. When people see this interview, they're going to know exactly who it is.
And that's why I do it. Okay, so that I'm not, that's why I do these. And then, I also did one with Mike Wilkinson,
I know him. Yeah, Mike's a great guy. Yeah,
he's a good guy too. I mean, I owe him one.
yeah.
But I also thought this was. I saw a couple of your interviews. You just did that. What was his name? The guy that is a drummer, and you guys are talking about the Peter Criss album. I saw that, and I go, fuck, maybe I should hit up Jason and see if he wants to do an interview with me. And then I'm going to hook you up with, I hook you with.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him later today. So I thank you for that, Fifi.
Maybe I'll hook you up with somebody else, because this is all about helping each other, right?
It's networking, yeah. In fact, that's
out there.
Yeah.
I'll give you a couple other musicians that probably would like to do an interview, and
Yeah.
just and I like to think that you had your background on there. With Mike, he's already helped me out a lot with interviews that I want to branch out, try to get interviews somewhere else right now.
I think you would be good at this, like having a Fifi Larue podcast or doing something like that.
I thought of that, but that's a commitment. Like, okay, let's see what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
That's a commitment.
And I got a day job, I'll tell you, that where I don't even get home till like about 6 o'clock at night. So a lot of stuff is done on the weekend or after hours. But I think a guy with your schedule, you could do even maybe like once or twice a month. People would tune into.
I thought about it, but I have to commit it, and I have to have like the background has to be like an Elvira bullshit thing, or like
I'm telling you, because I'm not an artist, but I did that with AI, just Facebook's AI, if you can believe that.
No, but I thought, but that takes away from what I want to do, is write songs and do.
Yeah. Well, that's you do what you do, because you're great at it.
Well, I want. Maybe someday I will. Maybe at the
maybe in retirement. Who knows?
Yeah. G. Snyder, he went and did radio shows, right? I mean, that was the next thing, right?
When he lost everything, that's how he got it all back.
Oh
yeah.
I'm a big Twisted Sister fan.
Oh yeah, who isn't?
I don't really understand. I understand he has arthritis problems, and now
heart issues. I understand
heart issues. So yeah, but it sucks that because they were coming back to do some big shows, and I don't think it was going to last forever. So I don't know.
The thing I got